Houston has 45 letter winners returning, 19 starters, and Houston opens its season August 29th against Texas San Antonio on ESPN News. Coach, thanks so much for joining us on the call. Thanks for bearing with us while we had some schedule things to work out here on the call. If you could take a minute to tie up, tell us how your spring went, and then give us a little preview of what you can expect from Houston this summer as we head into the 2014 season.
Well, our spring went well. You know, it was a little unique in that we had a lot of familiar faces. To listen to you mention, we got, I think you said somewhere around 45 returning lettermen and 19 returning starters. You know, that's exciting for a coaching staff to have so much carryover from last season to the next. So we had a good spring. Again, like most schools do, we really focused on improving ourselves and not looking ahead, not looking past you know, what some things we wanted to get accomplished this spring. And it started certainly with our individual student athletes improving, and you know, when they can do that. When each one of our student athletes can get better, then certainly as a program we're improving. So we got a little work to do this summer, you know, and I think you always see an improvement from your program and from your student athletes as they work on their own and work with your strength and conditioning staff in the months of June and July. So I think our guys will continue to improve. I'm excited about the newcomers that'll be moving into campus here in about 2 weeks, and we're certainly looking forward to playing UTSA in the first game next season.
Any questions for Coach Tony Levine, please hit *1 on your telephone to join the queue. The operator will introduce you. Take our first question, please.
We'll take our first question from Joseph Girat with Houston Chronicle.
Good morning, Tony.
Good morning, Joseph. How you doing?
Good, thanks. Hey, I just wanted to ask you a couple of spring follow-up questions. Wanted to see, you know, there was some emphasis of the running game in the spring. I was just curious, particularly with, you know, third and short, and kind of the use of McCluskey. Can you kind of just get into that a little bit of how after spring you're looking at the backfield and those situations of the upcoming season?
Yes, and you actually just used the word there at the end of your question. A lot of what we did this spring, looking back on some things we felt like we needed to improve on from last season, with a little bit of an inexperienced group a year ago, were really more situational football and getting them to be to understand the game better, if you will. So we did a lot of situational work, and part of that was third and short and making a big putting a big emphasis on that during spring practice. You know, I think we definitely have to and will expand our running game from what we've done in years past. And, you know, we've got great confidence, not only in our offensive line, but certainly in our running backs. And Kenneth Farrell and Ryan Jackson are two young men that have done a lot here in 2 years, and both will be juniors. Farrell was a captain for us last year as a sophomore and is 215 pounds. And then I think a little bit of the emergence of Tyler McCloskey this spring. He's a young man that was a high school quarterback, not heavily recruited. I know it was interesting to try to project what he would play. He was 6'2", about 205 pounds in high school, and they would be in the shotgun and they'd snap him the ball and he would just run downhill and run over people. So we initially projected him as a linebacker. Came here and played last year as a true freshman for us, primarily on special teams. And then after about a week of training camp in August, we moved him from linebacker to fullback, and did a really nice job for us offensively as well. He's up to 235 pounds now. Runs extremely well, catches the ball tremendously well out of the backfield. And I think I shouldn't say I think, I know you're going to see him, you know, situationally be an asset for us offensively.
You suffered some unfortunate injuries at the close to the end of the spring. One of the ones that it seemed like stepped up for you was Amber Malvo for Eric Braswell. Is that something that you're looking at in terms of what he might be able to offer you this season?
Malvo?
Yeah, Malvo.
Yes, yeah. Cameron did a great job for us last year, and he's another young man as we come off of talking about Tyler McCloskey as a high school quarterback at 6'2" and 205 pounds, and now he's 235. Cameron Malvo is a young man. When he committed to us, he was 6'6", 211 pounds, and came in here. He redshirted as a freshman. Got a great feel for certainly what we do within our program, and got in the weight room with our strength and conditioning staff. And we're one of only a handful of schools in the country that's got a full-time nutritionist on staff. So he went from 211 pounds to where he's now 275 pounds. So we couldn't get him any taller. He's still 6'6". But he's gained, 60 pounds, a little bit more than that. And last year in the rotation, last year we played 9 defensive linemen, rotated them all every game. Not one of the 9 was a senior. And again, unfortunately, toward the end of spring practice, Eric Braswell suffered a knee injury. But because of the way Cameron played last year, he had a tremendous spring. Certainly a few weeks ago. We're excited about him, and I anticipate him being the starter at that defensive end position. He'll only be a redshirt sophomore, but again, he plays with high energy. He's got a great motor, loves to play football, and is a very smart young man as well.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
We'll take our next question from Shannon Owens with Orlando Sentinel.
Good afternoon, Coach. How are you doing today?
Great, Shannon. How are you?
I'm great. Looking through the rosters of a lot of the teams, there's a lot of young quarterbacks. Do you see an opportunity there for a lot of defenses to potentially exploit, defenses such as your team, to exploit some of the youth that's going to be on these rosters this year?
That's an interesting question, Shannon. I saw that a couple of weeks ago. I saw somebody put out on social media the quarterbacks returning in the American Athletic Conference next year with the most starts. And I might be wrong on this. I want to say Paxton Lynch might have 12, and then John O'Corn for us has 11, and those are the top 2 that both played this past year as freshmen. And then I want to say maybe P.J. Walker at Temple has 6 or 7 starts. So, it's traditionally been a quarterback league, and you look over the weekend and you see Blake Bortles and Bridgewater and Garrett Gilbert get drafted. This is kind of going to be the new, maybe the new wave of quarterbacks that we're going to enjoy watching compete the next 3 or 4 years in our conference. Whether or not defenses, as you asked, take advantage of that'll remain to be seen. I know in talking to some of the coaches in our league, especially obviously the ones that coach these young men, they're extremely confident and excited about the quarterbacks that they have, although some are certainly less experienced than others, and even the ones that are experienced have really only played in this league and in college football for 1 year. I think that remains to be seen. I think there's great defense in this conference. I think that was shown last year across the board. And, again, I think there's also, it's been proven that there's great quarterback play as well.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach, we thank you for the time today. We look forward to seeing you in July down in Newport, and best of luck for a good summer in the 2014 season.
Great. Thank you so much.